Hello, listeners. What you are hearing at the beginning was a recording of me playing a song by Frédéric Chopin, nicknamed the Raindrop Prelude. It's my favorite piece to play and to listen to as far as classical music. I thought I would create some intro music by playing the piano. As you can probably tell, it's a very out of tune piano, so if you'd like to help me pay for a piano tuner, I hope you'll consider becoming a paid subscriber. This is my fourth podcast in the past 4 weeks. Well, I should have recorded it on Friday, but I was severely unmotivated. If you're not familiar, depression can seemingly come out of the blue, but it always begins with a thought, whether you're aware of it or not. When I was thinking about recording a podcast episode, I started to think that no one really wants to hear anything. I haven't received a lot of feedback, and I haven't received any paid subscribers, so I don't know how long I can keep this up without getting a full-time job. I've been working as a freelance writer for a few years, but projects have been scarce lately. I've been writing on Medium for a few years also, and I've been doing well, but it doesn't earn me enough to pay the bills. All of this started me thinking that maybe I'm just not meant to do it. But here I am. I read a book several years ago called Running with Scissors. It's a memoir by Augustin Burroughs. He's a great writer and very funny. It would be even more hilarious, but it's also sad and a bit tragic because it's based on true events. If you haven't read it, I really recommend it. Augustine went through so much throughout his life, but despite very little encouragement or support, he went off to New York and wrote a memoir that ended up spending 8 weeks on the New York Times bestseller list. He wrote about 10 or so novels altogether. He's also gay, so I identify with him on a couple of levels. I watched the film adaptation of the novel last night when I was looking around for movies, and it made me think that if he could go through everything he did and still persevere, maybe I could too. I asked for suggestions for this episode, and a couple people mentioned the recent presidential election, of course. It's a current event and a relevant issue, especially considered the effect some policies will be having on the LGBTQ community. I usually avoid writing or talking about politics, but I wrote a piece a few days ago called "Did We Just Inaugurate Hitler?" So if you can check that out if you want to know more about that. So this episode is recorded partly for the sake of consistency, but also to say that I struggle sometimes, and if you do too, maybe you can relate. Maybe if you begin running with scissors, you'll find some motivation too. I also want to offer this. If you become a paid subscriber, you can choose my podcast topic. Let me know what you want to hear, and I'll deliver. Whatever I do in life, I do to the best of my ability, and I think you deserve that if you're going to subscribe. So now I'm going to get ready to go watch the Chiefs hopefully beat the Buffalo Bills. Until next time, say goodbye, Zach.